What's up, YouTube? We back again. Wise guys, thanks for all the support. And before we get into everything, man, I ask y'all to like, subscribe to the channel. They help us build the channel to get to that part where we can give you that content in a quicker fashion, where it's more beneficial for us as it's beneficial to y'all. And we're going to keep that train rocking. We're your hosts, Cliff and
Samuel, the love doctor.
All right, so we coming back again, and we know we got kind of idea of the stuff y'all like. So we got to talk about Derrick Jaxn, man. I'm not going to lie, man. I don't disagree with everything he says. I disagree with probably 95% of stuff he says. So there's a 5% chance that what he says is going to benefit you, ladies out here, or gentlemen, you who listen to his content. This is one that we have not listened to at all, neither one of us. So we're going to come into it blind, and we just want to see y'all respond to this. So, Sam, you got anything before we start?
No, we just really appreciate y'all rocking with us. It's fun, we're getting started, and we see where this could go. So we appreciate y'all rocking with us, commenting, liking, disliking, whatever, just engaging with us. We're here for it. Thank y'all.
All right, with that being said, Derrick Jaxn, Homer Simpson. You know what? I'm gonna give. You know what? I'm not gonna do that. I just want to see what you guys say, brother, and we're gonna rock with your message.
Yeah, let's see what he got. Let's see what he got.
Go.
She asked me that famous question: D, what is wrong with me, or am I the problem? Backstory: she's had a couple of failed relationships. She was intentionally single for a little while, but then whenever she decided she wanted to start dating again, she honestly it just wasn't it. Dating just wasn't it. So she asked me that question. And before I even go further, let me say this. Sometimes, ladies, you are the problem. It's 100% possible to be the reason why your relationships don't work and all that other stuff. And we'll address that in a separate video if y'all want. But something I need to address also is that just because you've had relationships that have failed over and over again, just because you've been single for a while, just because your friends are getting married and you're not, it doesn't automatically mean you're the problem. And from what I know about this young lady, I know that she's not the problem. But the way that I qualify this is like this. Like, it's 5 categories.
All right, hold on. Let me step in a little bit. Now, I'm not going to say what he said was fundamentally incorrect. However, if you're noticing your circle of friends are getting married and that's what you want to do too, and you're not getting there, you may want to start doing some self-evaluation. That's all I'm saying.
No, I totally agree. And unless this is his wife or something, you can't say she's not the problem and you're not the one in a relationship with her. From her perspective that she's not the problem, but you're not living it with her all the way, homie. So you can't say that. So.
There you go. Let's move on.
Yeah, the 5 reasons why you cannot possibly be the problem in your relationships that have failed or what have you. You may be a part of the issue and why it wasn't perfect, but not the reason why it failed. Not the reason why you're single. The first one is if your relationships ended in betrayal or abuse. Now, when it comes to like cheating, I know a lot of people say, you can't make it. No. You can be the cause of a man not wanting to be with you no more. You can be the cause of a man being miserable. You can be the cause of a man wanting to leave you, but you can't put the address in his GPS as to where he ends up going, especially, make him go there before he's officially out of the relationship with you. And I'm not even going to explain the abuse one, but if your relationships have ended in abuse or betrayal, you're not the problem. Second way that you know that you're not the problem is if you've left because there were unkept.
Hold on. Okay, let's address number 1. What do you guys say about his issue number 1?
Go ahead. I want to mull over that for a second. You go ahead.
Yeah, he kind of breezed over a big point. Mm-hmm. It's not your point over abuse and betrayal, and he didn't really delve into anything. So basically, he glossed over a big thing that a lot of people say: abuse. And what we see that tends to be a trait with abuse is that there are 2 components to abuse. Mm-hmm. Not to say, usually abuse gets reported when what? Physical contact ensues.
Right.
What doesn't get reported? Mental abuse, verbal abuse. That kind of stuff doesn't get reported. So it's pretty much a one-way street with 3 caveats to it. So with that being said, I think that's very irresponsible to just gloss over such a topic that's so nuanced. So I'm going to just leave it at that. Listen, when a lot of things happen in an abusive relationship, it's a byproduct of another action. So I think, we as people who want to be in function, loving relationships, understand not to be a consort to a abusive relationship by doing, again, verbal, mental abuse. And let's understand the whole spectrum of abuse.
No, absolutely right. I was going to say the same thing as far as the different levels of abuse, different kinds of abuse. But for what he said, as far as cheating goes, excuse me, I feel like I got to sneeze and it won't come out. You know, yeah, like Jesus. But as far as cheating goes, no, that's not the reason why, you know, somebody will. You can't make somebody cheat. You can't do that. You know, you can make somebody not want to be with you, like he said. But I feel like that was a really safe comment. You know what I'm saying, to say that it's not your fault. You know what I'm saying, even if you did everything leading up to that point. Like, you played a part in that. If you played a part in it, then you had some fault in that situation too. You can't just take the fault away from them because they didn't do the final action. They still were a part of that equation, and you can't take them out when they were. You know what I'm saying? So that was a safe comment, and you don't want to get into, it's like you said, it's nuanced, and you definitely don't want to get into victim shaming and all that type of stuff. And he's correct. You cannot make somebody else cheat, but you can be the reason why they just despise you, and you can be a part of abuse, even though you're not the one physically abusing somebody. Do you think that it's, and I see this a lot, I've seen women do this. I've seen men, I've seen a lot of abusive men, which I don't agree with. We don't agree with that. You know what I'm saying? We don't teach anybody that. We don't agree with it. None of that. But I've seen women literally they will not touch you, won't touch you, but they will get in your face, point their finger right at your forehead, you know what I'm saying, and tell you how much of a bitch nigga you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is somebody supposed to do with that? You're not gonna you're not gonna disrespect me like that. You know what I'm saying? So if tempers start flaring, and don't let it be some kind of a libation, which this is not. But I'm just saying, like, if you got some liquid courage in you, you know what I'm saying, you feel a lot more mightier than you might be, and you might be, what's the word I'm looking for? What is it when they basically invoking that type of, not, let me not say that. Like I said, it's a
agitating, when they are antagonizing.
Yeah, you're antagonizing them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't mean that he should hit you. I tell my kids that all the time. I just told little Sammy that he said he's gonna get in a real fight today, and I asked him, and this is off subject, but just to give y'all some context, he said that they was playing soccer, dude kicked him on purpose, and he said, "You better not kick me again." And he said that he came and pushed him in the back and made him fall or whatever, and he was about to fight him. But I asked him, I said, "What are you supposed to do?" And he's like, "Tell the teacher." I was like, "All right, so if you would have got in trouble for fighting, you would have been in trouble, you know, from me, because you didn't do what you were supposed to do." You know what I'm saying? It's levels to it. So what I'm saying is, if you played a part in it, you cannot be absolved of any kind of responsibility in that situation. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like how safe he tried to make that. Like, you can't make nobody cheat if you ain't do this. I don't care what you. Nah, it's not that simple, bro. So let's get to the next one now, because I'll be going all day on that.
No, and it's funny. This is so cogent to what I was telling, my lady about a situation I've been in like 5-6 years ago. No, about 7 years ago when I was still teaching. Outside the club, this young lady I was kicking it with, she was at the bar just buying hella drinks and all this stuff, right? And then after a while, I was like, "You're not buying nobody else more drinks. You doing too much. You're drunk as hell." And then so I cut her tab off and blah, 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 blah. We get to the car and to the parking lot to go home. And clearly just drunk as hell. And she was just on some, "Nigga, you ain't paid for no drinks, you broke ass nigga," blah, 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 like hand in my face. And if y'all don't know, man, I'm 6'7", 240 pounds. I'm not a small dude. So while she doing all this, all I'm gonna think about is, you touch my face. It's not gonna be good.
Right.
Like, why are you doing this right now? Secondly, I was thinking, I have to be bigger than this, because what happens? I'm 6'7", 240 pounds. If I lay a finger on her and she touched that ground, whose side you think everybody gonna be on?
Oh, you going to jail, bro.
Come on. I'm going to jail. You feel me? So I had to be better than that situation on many levels, because I was getting physical abuse. hand in the face. She didn't touch my face. Now she touched my face. I couldn't promise what will happen, but she was just doing the most. I'm just like, yo, can you stop? Because I need to get you home. You drunk as hell and you're belligerent. And she'll apologize the next day. But just think about in the moment, if I would have let her antagonize me into putting hands on her because I had the right. I tried to get in my car and leave. She hopped in my passenger seat. Nigga, you ain't going nowhere. So, like, what can you do with that? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying every situation is as extreme as that, but let's put this in real terms of what something I personally experienced. So you got to understand all points of view, because if I end up hitting her, it would have been one police report of domestic violence from a man hitting a woman, and that's it. So I just want to kind of give context about how everybody can be equal parts and just how Sammy has led into. But yeah, I don't want to harp too much on my personal anecdotal, situation, but I've personally seen a situation that could go left based on the woman being the aggressor.
Quick.
All right, let's go forward.
Kept promises on deal breakers. Things like, you want to have children. Things like, you want to get married. Things like you refuse to be with a guy who's just not going to work, not going to get a job, refusing to move out of his mama's house, something like that. And you clearly communicated that in the very beginning, but as time went on, you noticed there was no progress being made towards that. No, you're not the problem for leaving. You're not the problem for being single. It's really not your fault. It's just actually not your fault. The third way that you know that you were not the problem when it came to your past relationships being failed or being single or whatever is if you had to choose between your growth and his comfort zone. If that was the reason why a relationship ended, he knew from the very beginning you were ambitious. You wanted higher in life. You wanted more in life. You wanted to travel. You wanted to, get in different circles. You wanted to promote higher through life. But as you started to do that, you noticed there was some resentment building. There was some like little slick shots taken. There was maybe even some jealousy or something like that. And it got to a point where you couldn't even be in the relationship because he wanted you to fit into this little box of only who he met you as at the level that he met you at. You're not the problem for leaving. The relationship is supposed to expand you, supposed to add value, not make you have to subtract to make somebody else feel more comfortable. Now, the fourth way that you know that you are not.
Okay, he went through two, and I only caught one. Did you catch the two he went through? He's kind of.
Yeah, the one before. That's what I'm saying. Is he on a time limit or something? He just rushing through it, just blazing through it. But anyway, he said, if you're. Jesus, what did he say? This last one was comfort. The one before that was if he's Jesus, what did he say? Oh no, you might have to run it back.
He just bowled through them, man. So I'm gonna address what I remember. If you can remember one, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I can't remember. Go ahead, because I don't remember what he said.
I'll talk about the one he said about you changing, I guess, more or less changing the lifestyle of somebody, or you met me like this, and this, if he's changing you, that it's not your fault. It doesn't work out. Bro, listen, man. When you meet somebody and they're about traveling, they're about all this. One thing I've learned about Black successful people is you do that to present an image of yourself. And I've done this myself, going to exotic places, showing pictures of me doing it because I want to attract the opposite sex. So you can say that's a part of you, but it is very much, in a lot of senses, it's not a genuine part of yourself. It's a part of yourself you're trying to project to show your value, to show you are cultured, you are eccentric, or what have you. So if somebody wants you to deviate from that and focus on more of couple shit that's going to make you whole, that's bullshit. Because jet setting and traveling is one thing. You sitting your ass down somewhere, as old school said it, and developing a correct bond the right way, that's above all that shit, because all that is optics. So I guess the point out, that's the overarching point I want to make. I remember going to Dominican Republic for the exact intent. I probably was about 28 years old.
I remember.
For the exact extent. I mean, I went to have a good time. Don't get me wrong, but I wanted to get pictures of me out there in the DR so I could use to show that, I'm this well-rounded guy, blah, blah, blah. I remember this vividly. So you got to understand that that's just the optics more than they are something tangible to a functioning relationship. So to say that he wants to change you from that, like, no. He's trying to pull you from that silly shit and pull you towards something that's going to be meaningful and that's gonna move forward to you being, you know, moving to that next stage, moving to the next level, where y'all have a relationship where it's about both contributions, finding that whole, finding that sum, and not just you trying to look good for the gram, trying to look good for Facebook. Let's look for some shit that's actually gonna make us a good couple.
Right. No, I totally agree with that. I'm struggling with the point of this video, because what he's saying is just basic stuff. Like if you don't, what he's saying is if you're not happy with how the relationship is going, it's not your fault why you leave it. Yeah, I mean, okay, like that's, I mean, I don't understand what the point is. Like, it's not your fault. Okay, so what? Like, relationships don't work out for these reasons. I think the video should have been that, like, your relationship didn't work out for these reasons. Be okay, or something like that. Like, what's the point? You know? Yeah, if you want to travel and want to do all these things, and you know you with somebody that's not gonna do that, then y'all not lining up. You know what I'm saying? Y'all not going in the same direction, and you shouldn't be together, you know? But if you want to be in a relationship and that's what he wants, and this is what his idea of a relationship is, and yours is different, go with what you feel like works. But I don't understand why we need an explanation of why it's not your fault. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like we go too far to absolve people of accountability in a situation. And it's like we always talk about it. It creates the current climate that we in right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see what he's trying to do with this video. Or is it basically just saying is, hey baby, it's not your fault? I don't know. I don't get what direction this video is going in, or why it's even a video, or it's just content. Maybe it's just content. And you think that's it?
Yeah. Sometimes YouTubers come to this wall where you don't really know what to put out. And so, I mean, I know we're just starting this channel out, but my main page, Hoop Jargon, it's kind of hard to like. Now, I just choose to not put stuff out if I'm not passionate about it.
Right.
But some dudes, what I've learned, man, I'm friends with a lot of top content creators with basketball, and they'll start putting shit out just because. And this may be one of those culprits, because when you put them out, they get monetized, you get views. It's good for the brand. It's good for business. So this may be one of them videos, but the premise of this captured my attention. So I just wanted to address it. So let's keep going forward.
Right.
Not the issue in your previous relationships is if, say, nothing to do with the previous relationships. Let's say you're single, but you run at the first sign of toxicity. Now, a lot of people say, well, you're not supposed to run at the first sign. Yes, you are in dating. Now, in a marriage, that's where, through thick and thin comes. And that's where, we're going to count. Let
me say this. Yeah, I mean, when you see toxicity, you should run.
Yeah.
You should not deal with somebody's bullshit. You should not deal with their lingering issues. So I agree with the brother on that. Like, you don't have to force yourself to deal with somebody who's toxic.
Yeah.
At no point.
I agree. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I gotta give Derrick his props. I think he's a big time simp.
So we're gonna pray. We're gonna wait this thing out. We're gonna do relationship even, but not in dating. All you're doing whenever you run at the first sign of toxicity while dating, you're doing what a lot of people who got their heart broken in a relationship wish they had done in the very beginning. That's you being wise. That's not you. That's not you being the problem. In the last week.
Go ahead.
See, that's why I'm confused, because I thought we were talking about the reason why you're not in a relationship. Ain't that what we was talking about? Ain't this what
he said? Why it's not your fault?
Yeah. So okay. So all right. I guess I'm confused on the terms. So is dating and relationships to him the same, or like what is it? Because he's saying like unless you're married, then you can work on it, and then he just double backed and said that about relationships. But not if you're dating. You don't deal with toxicity if you're dating. So I don't understand what we talking about here. I thought we was talking about the reason why you're not in a relationship and why it's not your fault. But I'm confused. Can you help me with that?
No, I cannot. So this is leaning towards more of just like a filler. Like on your favorite CD, they got these songs and that. Like on their phone, Easter Town 1999. That one song. What's that song? There's a filler song. Damn,
what's that song with the cops at the beginning?
Yeah, you just skip that, man.
Yeah.
He said, we say, Beezy Bone, you are accuser. Nah, man. You know what I mean? You just skip past that motherfucker.
Yeah.
This is a filler song.
I like that. I like that.
All right, let's proceed on.
Yeah.
Reason. Now, the last way that you know that you are not the problem in your dating and relationship situations is if honestly you're just unimpressed with what you're coming across. You're just unimpressed, and you choose to just bypass it. Like, you're gonna be good on that. Now, this is where a lot of people would disagree and say, well, Dean, maybe her standards are too high. Maybe she just wants too much. Maybe they're unrealistic. And to that, I would say, well, maybe they are, but what would you rather a woman do? Would you rather try to force herself to be in a relationship that she's clearly not interested in? Or would you rather her let that man go and be somebody else's blessing? I personally believe we need more men and women that can say, you know what, I'm not into you, so I'm just going to let you move on, do your thing. I'm not going to waste your time and let you waste mine, which is not easy to do. It takes a lot of maturity, because it's real easy to just say, you know what, because I don't want you, I really don't care about your feelings, and I'm still going to get something out of this, so I'm just going to use you, in which that is completely wrong. Please don't do that. But I do understand the frustration. It's like,
let me say this. This dude talks in a lot of circles, man.
Mm-hmm.
And normally people who are influencers, especially males, you kind of hit your points and you get there and you drive it home and you move to the next.
Mm-hmm.
This dude is fluent in woman, meaning that he talks in circles. He talks about things that adhere to your feelings, so he draws you in. He basically knows your code.
Mm-hmm.
And women, I want to say, man, follow who you want to follow. You know, be a part of whoever's program you want to be a part of. But this dude talks in a lot of circles, and I'm not gonna lie, it's very hard for me to follow this shit. But I know what he's doing. He's talking your language. That's what he's doing. He's talking your language, dog. He got his simpology on in full Super Saiyan mode right now. And it's, you know, as a 37-year-old man, it's very hard to follow a point who I would take this man in his 30s as well. You know, he purports himself to be somebody very astute. I mean, he has a book out, you know, and all that shit. You know, he panders real hard to the women crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all well and good. I'm not gonna lie, I'm struggling following his linear path that he's trying to draw right now with his 5 points.
Exactly. That was my point, because I did not understand, but he's speaking his consciousness, like he's just going and just going and going and going and going. Everything, think of something, I'm going. You know, I don't really understand what the purpose of this video is, but I do know that he has to, you know, he got to keep his audience engaged. So that makes sense. I know that if you put some truth in there, that people will hang on to that bit of truth, and they'll pretty much forget the rest of that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that he's lying about any of this stuff. I feel like it's some good information if somehow you didn't know. I am confused about what dating relationships is to him versus, you know, anything that he's talking. I don't know what he's talking about right now, but I don't see that he's lying. He's saying that the last point he made was what did he say? If you're unimpressed, okay, like who? I'm not staying with anybody I'm not impressed with. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can have a bad day, but you can't have a bad week. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's life too short for that, for us to be hanging around people that we don't want to be with. And as a man, I'm somebody, you somebody the same, that we're not going to be with somebody that we don't want to wake up to every day, that we wouldn't be happy waking up to and seeing every damn day. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm not impressed by what you are at this moment and where you going and headed, then it's not even a question about being with you. So I really don't understand the purpose of the video, but if you're talking about it's a filler, you know, a video filler, content filler, that makes all the sense in the world. And yeah.
All right, let's proceed on.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, if you have a PhD and you got it from an Ivy League school, you got magna cum laude, you got years of job shadowing experience with the best in your field or whatever, and then when you go out here and you submit your resume or you going out here to apply for a job, you're just getting presented with minimum wage. You know what I'm saying? Or $25,000 a year salaries. Or you start a job with somebody who had more to present with you and to you in terms of the salary, but they short you on your check, or they skip a couple of checks, or, you know, they're harassing you at the job or something like that. Like, at some point you do get frustrated, but playing with people's hearts.
No, I can't let you get away with that, homie. You.
hell is he talking about?
Nah, bro. See, now I tell you what, people who don't have professional careers or understand how the professional career ladder goes, you let that shit gloss over. What this dude said is you got an Ivy League degree and you're not getting the job salaries that you desire. And if you get the job, they're not paying you on time. That's not reality, man. That is having a what would they say? You're creating a boogeyman with a very, very off base analogy. And I think you got to keep your head on a swivel for dudes like this. Like, that's a huckster. That's not a guy who's going to help you. That's a guy who's going to create these grandiose comparison scenarios that aren't tangible to reality to get you riled up. Derrick, I can't get you. I cannot let you make it on that, because that is very much a bullshit example. And that seems like an example of somebody who's not used to being professional, because you know that there's not many jobs out there where you don't get paid on time unless you're like a labor ready motherfucker, or like you work in these under the table jobs. You come on, man. You can sue for that, and you can get so much more money than you owe. Like, stop playing, man.
Bro, even when we was, what were we, 18, 19, and working summer, labor ready and stuff like that, we even got paid. Labor
Same day.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, that is not, it's, like you said, it's making this grandiose type scale that it doesn't, life don't work like that. You can't just say, you come out here with all these credentials and then you go get a job and then the job is not what it's, bro. That's not a great example at all. That is actually terrible. And yeah, it doesn't. And I can see it coming, because that's why he's talking so fast. He sounds like a salesman, a car salesman. You know, and the ones that people hate. You know, that they try to talk so much that you forget what they said. Like we did in the beginning. We were like, what the hell did he say? We didn't even go back to it because it didn't matter. That's why people hate salesmen, because of that shit. You just talking to talk, you know what I'm saying? And you're not adding anything of value. You're not listening to them. You're not doing anything. You just talking. So him making that example shows exactly why my initial critique on him was what it was. Like, that is not helping anybody. How does that shit even make sense? And I would like for him to answer that, but he don't have to. It don't make sense.
It's all good. Man, like the old saying goes, man, you ain't saying nothing slick to an oil can, man.
Exactly, bro. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, is his space where he's really trying to help, or is he just trying to be a content creator that, you know, makes enough to make enough? Like, I don't understand what his thing is. I don't really look into him like that. I do know that he has, like you said, a book. I know he has a following. I know that when it was presented to me years back, that he was more of a he was more of a, you know, get the women because he by down in the men type of guy. You know what I'm saying? And I think that he kind of, you know, he got away from that. And now,
like Kev said, that's dirty macking right there, man. You dirty macking right there. You going behind. You know what I'm saying? You pulling that slick shit on the sly, like old buddy. Like, you remember what's that? 5 Heartbeats, when he sent Robert Townsend sent his brother Leon over there to go back to the chick for him.
Oh yeah.
The Shot Brother act. And then you hit him. Then he ended up slicking old chick. He's like, I was just playing. Took his trick.
Yeah, he got tricked you.
I tricked you. Yeah, that's dirty macking right there, bro.
We gotta fight every night to prove our love.
yeah. Watch that dirty macking, man.
Yeah, you gotta chill with that, bro. Like, be
get your head whopped off of that, man.
Yeah. He gotta come more correct than that if you're gonna be, you know, if you're gonna be in this space. You just tell them what it is. You ain't gotta put all that fluff in there, man. Like, women especially can see through the fluff, even through you. You know what I'm saying? You trying to give them stuff that you feel like they need. They know what they need. They can feel it. They feel it when it's real. They feel when it's not. You know what I'm saying? So that's just some advice from us, because you're successful doing what you're doing, which, you know, I can appreciate anybody reaching a certain amount of success, but that shit is trash, and you know it, and they know it too. So
I will argue most women cannot. That's why a lot of women follow him. So that's why it is what it is. But let's move on.
Right.
Hard is never the solution. In fact, I believe the solution comes down to 12 things. I ain't gonna go too deep on it right now because I did write about it in my book. Don't forget. But I'll give you 3 right off the top. The first one is better raised.
Ding, 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 ding. Winner. That's what you got on here for 7 minutes to talk about promoting your book. All right, I got to the crux of it. Thank y'all. You're welcome. You're welcome. This is going on right now. Let's move on.
Too many times we have parents who will raise their daughters but coddle their sons.
Let me say this. That's why he fumbled through all that shit, because this is what he wants to talk about.
Yeah, and now it makes sense. Like, yeah. He fumbled through.
This is why this video is going on. I would have put this earlier to the Zoom. Well, I mean, he may know what his audience retention is. So
absolutely,
this is why he's doing this video. Like, I promise you, I bullshit you not.
Oh, it's gonna go smooth. It's about to
go.
They get a woman who's frustrated because she's feeling like she's having to play mommy and she's wanting to be a romantic partner, not a babysitter all the time. The second way that we could fix this issue is to stop normalizing the bare minimum from men. I can't count how many videos I've seen, how many conversations I've at least been able to listen in on where you have guys who are doing things like normal adults do, working, you know what I'm saying, not having a felony, and they think that they're high value men. Let me tell you something. Just because you ain't never ran up in the bank with a gun, or you have a job, and even if you got a promotion and you go get some thrift store suit and you get it tailored and you take a picture looking away from the camera, that doesn't mean that you are a high value.
That's a shot at Kev.
Yeah, that boy real hater though. Yeah, he hated.
Who goes to the thrift store and get it tailored? Y'all run me down if those correlational things occur with men. Stop it, bro.
Boy, you're talking in circles, man.
Talking in motherfucking circles. So this is what he want to talk about right now. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Value man. We're gonna break that down later as well. But the last one is this. The last one is, as men, we have to stop being the exact same type of men we tell our daughters to watch out for. We love to give our precious baby girls all the game about what type of men to look out for, but we never look into the mirror and say, you know what, that's also the type of man to not become. Again, I go way deeper on this subject. If you want to know the solution to all,
I'm gonna call bullshit. He's not going deep. Now, this is a very coaching point, and I think that you don't want to be the guy that you tell your daughter to avoid. I don't think that. I think that's very sound advice. I very well question if he could delve into that and break that down further, because that's not the kind of guy he strikes me as. He could.
In his book.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying it's in his book. That's where he's going with that. Like we're gonna get into that later, not on video, but in my book. So $9.99. Let's get it.
That's a good preview. Yep. All it is preview. So that's what's what happened?
No, I just saying I see you, bro.
Yeah, and that's in the sales. And so again, me and Sammy both have sales backgrounds. I'm currently in sales. With that's called the takeaway close. It's like you give your customer the fear of missing out. And then that's the premise that you sell your product on. So that's all that is. That's a takeaway close, which is brilliant. It works. Shit.
That's why I'm saying it's perfectly executed. But we see
takeaway close works.
We see you.
Yeah, we see you, homie.
All these overqualified women, in reference to what they're being presented with on the dating scene, then click the link down in the caption. Don't forget your crown book. I've done way more detail about it on how to fix this issue. But what little story?
Yes.
It may be annoying.
No, that's it, homeboy. That's it. I'm done.
Back him up some though.
All right, okay.
He said something about all these overqualified women. So I want to hear what he said with that. Just back it up.
All right. I'm glad you do, because I damn sure don't. But all right, let's go back. Let's run it back. Hold up, watch.
Run it back, man. Hold up, baby.
Issue. But moral of the story is this. It may be frustrating and it may be annoying to constantly get told you're the problem because your relationship didn't work out. But let me just proposition y'all with this before I go. Maybe it's better to be or even be considered as the problem in your failed relationships, as opposed to spending the best years of your life inheriting somebody else's problem because you're trying to be.
Hold on, I think I messed up. Let me go back a little further.
Yeah.
The problem because your relationship
can't see the screen either.
Let me just proposition y'all with this before I go.
Come on.
Maybe it's better to be or even be considered as the problem in your failed relationships, as opposed to spending the best years of your life inheriting somebody else's problem because you're trying to be that.
Oh, come on, computer. What are you doing?
But y'all let me know what you think down in the comments. Again, don't forget your crown book. It's 50% off at the link in the caption.
Close the deal. My guy. I don't know, man. I can't get back to it. Technology is not my friend right now.
It's all good. X amount. I just you can go back to
I think you got the gist of what he was doing with that.
Yeah. He's saying all these overqualified women. He just upping them so they can, you know what I'm saying? That's me. I need to get this to see what he's talking about type thing. So it's funny though. It's funny. And we knew I knew that this shit didn't make no sense. I'm like, what is this video about? Like, what are we talking about right now? And then it came down to it. It's like, we're not gonna get into that now. We later, you know, and then if you buy my book, then you'll see. Hey, bro. Good job, bro. Hey, that's a great ad. That was a great 5-6 minute ad or whatever it was. And, hope you sold some books, man.
That's all it was. And again, we watched this live with y'all, so I didn't know what he was doing, but that's why it was so much junk, because he just threw that shit together so he can get to the end of what he really wanted to do. So y'all gotta learn how to Peep game, man. If you don't know how to do it, no problem. But yeah, that was a 7-minute advertisement for his book. And you know, it wasn't a bad idea, to be perfectly honest with you. So I ain't mad at it.
Yeah. I can't hate on it. I got a book, so that's a great way to get the attention of people to make it seem like you know what you're talking about, or show that you know what you're talking about. I think that the method, it could have been executed better, you know, as far as those 5 points that he was talking about, because they didn't make no sense to me. I didn't know what he was talking about at first, but
he didn't know what he was talking about either. So it'd make two of y'all.
Right. So he got to the point of, hey, buy my book, and yeah, it's a hustle. I get it. So I appreciate that.
It is what it is. Huckster, Derrick Jaxn. I mean, we got to do another one, man, because
that's not enough. I wasn't fulfilled by that.
That was like a snack right there. We need a full course meal, man. So thank y'all for tuning in. Like, subscribe, comment, put thumbs down if you don't like what we talk about. It's all good, man. Either way, man. So, but if you do like it, share with other people you know, and let's get this word out, man. Let's you know, a lot of our content is gonna be kind of going at a few YouTubers, but it's not in a way. We're not gonna attack the person. We're attacking ideas. And shout out to Mediocre Tutors and Reviews, who takes that same strategy, and that's gonna be us too. We're not attacking the person. We're attacking the ideals, and that's just kind of what we're gonna try to stay forward with, man. So appreciate y'all, love, and respect. Till next time, holla.